This teleporter looks just like any other, but if you take this teleporter, what awaits you on the other side is the culmination of months worth of planning, experimenting, and iterating to make TF2's most complicated trap. This Pyro is traveling at TF2's speed limit. He has a glitched Goomba Stomp effect so he can crush people to death by landing on their heads. And he is doing over 300 damage to whoever takes that teleporter in an instant, which is more than enough to kill the tankiest class in the game. And all you really need to pull this off is a humble dispenser. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how we pulled this off, as well as a whole bunch of other really crazy and complicated clips that we hit just for this video. So without further ado, let me introduce you to the Dispenser Cannon. Back in ye olden days of TF2, there was a really common method of trolling your teammates called a teletrap. Build a teleporter exit on a staircase, then build an entrance just slightly above the exit. When a teammate takes that teleporter, they would get stuck inside of the entrance after they teleported through. But this bug was patched out years ago. It took them until 2018 to patch it, but you know, they got there eventually, right? So this bug is long dead. Or at least so I thought. See, this bug no longer works with teleporters, but it does still work with engineers' other buildings. Place a dispenser or a sentry on top, and place a tele-exit as close as you can on the bottom. If the slope is steep enough, you'll just barely be able to get the teleporter underneath the dispenser. You can also do the same thing if you get the dispenser to overhang a ledge just like this. Now, the old version of this bug can be used to trap your teammates, which is obviously problematic for the new player experience, or whatever. But with this dispenser version, the only player I can get stuck is myself. If your teammate takes this teleporter, they won't get stuck at all, since dispensers don't collide with teammates. Valve probably knew that this was possible, but they thought that leaving this in the game just didn't really matter. Why would anyone want to get themselves stuck in TF2? What could that possibly be used for? Well, turns out Valve didn't even know the half of it. Please tell me that guy dies. Yes. This is what I like to call the Dispenser Cannon. It's an incredibly easy way to create a stuck launch in dozens of spots in every single map in the entire game. Anywhere there's a somewhat steep staircase or hill, you can build a Dispenser Cannon. Anywhere that you can build an overhanging dispenser like this, you can build a Dispenser Cannon. And anywhere that you can build a floating building, you can build a Dispenser Cannon. If you didn't know, on certain rocks or cliffs like these, you can very slowly move your mouse parallel to the rock, and in some spots, you can build a dispenser that floats above the ground. These spots exist literally everywhere. You just need to go looking for them. But if you can build the floating building high enough, then you can slide a teleporter right underneath it to get stuck inside the building. Once you're stuck in the dispenser, you can now start giving yourself velocity. So then when you destroy the dispenser, you will get unstuck. So all of this speed is unleashed upon you to send you absolutely flying. Or you can give yourself all this speed, then launch another player into the sky. If an enemy player walks off of the dispenser onto your head and then presses jump, all of your stuck speed gets transferred onto them, which lets you hit all sorts of incredible clips.
No, I missed the crit.
Hi, this is Htwo from the editing room, and it's also 2 AM, but forget about that. I didn't know where else to put this in the video, but I have to include it somewhere because it's just incredible. I found this video from 2009 of these two guys doing stuck launches with NG buildings on like Htwo and stuff, and they're like playing a Jamiroquai song in the background. It's crazy, all right? I'm gonna link it in the description because I think you should go watch it because it's just, this is a piece of TF2 history we're looking at. It's like watching TF2 tech on a cave painting or something. It's sick. These are the guys we have to thank for all of the beautiful tech we're using in 2026, the year of our Lord. Anyway, back to the video. So now, the clip from the beginning of the video should start making a little bit more sense. This engineer has been air blasted at least 7 times. When the pyro jumps off of his head, the pyro will travel at TF2's speed limit, the maximum velocity that anything can travel in the source engine. The air blasts on this NG were aimed at these walls. The shape of these walls funnels the pyro around the rune. And then this invisible wall here slams the pyro into the ground right in this corner, which is right where our second engineer builds his teleporter exit. So now the trap is set. But before all this setup, the pyro had to do one last thing. Jetpack jumping directly into the resupply cabinet in order to change loadouts to something else will permanently give your pyro the ability to damage people by landing on their heads. He shoots the scorch shot at the player who takes the teleporter to set them on fire. Then the extinguisher does extra damage to burning players. At full speed, it looks something like this. Make sure to taunt right after you swing your melee weapon for maximum style points. This might sound really complicated, and figuring it out in the first place is complicated. But the funny part is that once you've figured it all out and set the whole thing up in a real match, it's actually incredibly easy to just keep farming people who take the teleporter. Like, I'm barely cutting out any time between these people dying. They're all just taking the telly one after the other and instantaneously exploding. We killed like 15 people with this in a single round. But if you thought that was cool, turns out the Dispenser Cannon has one more surprise in store. Something incredibly devious that under normal circumstances shouldn't even be possible. Remember when I said you can't get your teammates stuck with this bug? Well, it turns out I lied. You totally can do that. See, your teammates can't collide with a dispenser that you build, but if an enemy engineer builds a dispenser, your teammates can collide with that. So rather than just one engineer building this setup, instead you need two. A red engineer and a blue engineer. One Engie builds the dispenser on the top of the slope. Then the Engie from the opposite team builds the teleporter exit. Then they build the teleporter entrance right outside their own spawn, so that when people take the teleporter, they get stuck in the enemy dispenser. Now you quickly have a pyro air blast them to give them speed, and then you release them from the dispenser to send them to the moon.
Uh-oh!
I got launched off.
Goodbye, Plugis. So with enough people colluding, this setup allows you to not just stuck launch yourself, but to stuck launch a random player in the server, something that is usually completely impossible to do in TF2. Now, this idea has a lot of really obvious problems.
Kijk, geen big mojo.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, he killed, but... But when the stars align, you can do a whole bunch of ridiculous things with this setup. Launch a random guy up into the skybox and then extinguisher combo him in the air. Incredible. Launch a guy up and then chase him up there with the sticky jumper.
Dude, I know you saw the spy.
He didn't even die! Yes. Launch a guy up and then pre-fire airshot him with the lock and load. What about getting a guy in a telly trap, launching him all the way across the map where there's a teleporter in a corner so that when he lands on it, you can telefrag him? This one's really stupid, but I love this clip. It's so funny. Now, the Dispenser Cannon gave us a really obvious idea, and that clip would look something like this.
That's 4.
Fuck, I'm so bad! So imagine that, right? But like, I hit the guy instead of missing like a stupid chud. It'd be incredible, right? This clip might not look that hard, but in reality, it's incredibly difficult. So difficult that we never managed to successfully pull it off.
I'm dead.
Oh,
The timing was really good on that one as well. Heavy took it.
ah, he's so... Yes, poor guy.
2, 3, 4.
He's on jetpack, so he's gonna get massive knock.
Push the motherfucking car.
Looks kind of chill there.
Fuck!
Oh, that was close. Oh, it was so close.
In all the previous examples, we use map geometry to funnel the launched player into a spot we want them in. This spot on Citadel has invisible walls that force the launched player into a corner. The spot on Phoenix has the same thing. These walls funnel the guy to go exactly where you want them. But this spot on Upward has no such thing. They are flying completely freely with nothing to stop them. So you have to jump out at the perfect timing. You also have to match their angle they launched at perfectly. You also have to match their speed as best you can, and you have to time your melee swing and not miss. And that's not to mention all of the times that it will obviously go horribly wrong. Most players who get trapped this way immediately start like hulking out and rattling the bars of their cage. Or someone who knows what you're doing will take the teleporter and instantly just start wreaking havoc and killing everyone. But then there's all the unexpected ways it will go wrong. Like a spy taking this teleporter and then going invisible so you can't see him to hit him.
4.
He's invisible. He's invisible. What am I supposed to do about that?
Him going invisible was like a turtle going into shell reaction.
Or the player who takes the teleporter is actually a spy, so he doesn't get stuck because he's on the wrong team. Or a guy who would rather killbind than get put in a frag movie. And most tragically of all, we had the worst possible outcome. We tried an even more complicated version of this with the airstrike, doing an airstrike sync catch on this cliff to chase the launched player with the market gardener. And on one of our very first attempts, tragedy struck.
Go.
I got a new reg!
Oh
No!
my god. This game's so bad, it's insane. Like, what the fuck? Look, I promise this is cool tech, okay? I know what it looks like, but we're gonna get to it, all right? Just bear with me. You ever played TF2 and you feel like you're just a little bit too short, you know? Too small to get to that one sniper sightline you wanted? Too tiny to reach the health pack on the top shelf of the fridge? Well, as long as you have a friend on the other team, you don't have to worry about any of that, because you can use them to piggyback up to places that you shouldn't be able to reach. This is so dumb. What am I talking about? What the fuck? With just 2 players, 1 on each team, you're able to kill people through the ceiling in all kinds of different spots. If you're crouched up against a thin ceiling like this, the Equalizer's taunt kill will actually go through the ceiling and kill people on the other side. And with just 2 people, you can kill people in their own spawn room just like this. The roof is slightly too high off the ground to just stand on the guy's head, so you do need a teleporter on the bottom for just enough height to get there. And there's a lot of spots that you can do this on. There's one here on Badwater that goes through the roof to kill people up here. There's one here on the Halloween version of Double Cross. And then there's some really silly ones like this. If you get your friend to wallbug on this wall on PL Swiftwater, you can get the perfect height to kill people who stand right here by taunt killing them through the floor. And that's just the stuff you can do with 2 people. With 3 people, you can stack on each other's heads in this full health pack room on Badwater, which lets you Equalizer taunt kill people right as they walk out of their own spawn door. 3 people also allows you to get this absolutely ridiculous sightline on PL Odyssey. If the bottom player in the stack stands on a sentry gun, you can see all the way from the first point on the map to the last point on the map. Now, 3 people's great. But what about 4 people? Well, 4 people allows for one of the dumbest things I've ever done in TF2. On PL Upward, red team's first spawn overhangs this part of the payload track. With 4 people positioned just right, you can play a stacker soldier right up to the floor of red spawn, which allows you to equalize a taunt kill directly into their spawn room immediately as players spawn in, which leads to incredible moments like this. Go now, now. Yes! Go now. Go now. Boom. Oh no! No, it's over. Fuck.
That was awesome though, we got so many.
It's fucking crazy. It would make for a much better video if I could tell you a story that this was so difficult to set up in a real game. It went wrong so many times. We had to get so lucky. No, it was actually extraordinarily easy. We pulled this off on our 2nd attempt. People who walked out of spawn and saw us doing this were so enamored with what was happening that they would just stand there and watching as we completely slaughtered everyone that spawned in immediately the moment they popped into existence. The one unsuccessful attempt we had didn't even go wrong because people were shooting us. It went wrong because of this.
Why am I? What is happening?
Help! Help! I'm inside Wumbus Yumbus! Help me!
What the
Help me!
What has happened? What has happened?
Help me!
What the fuck is going on? Let me in. Who knew that other players wouldn't be the problem? The problem would be us like melting into each other like a TF2 horror SFM or something. Now, we tried looking for player stacks that involved more players, but they're surprisingly hard to find. So the 4-player stack is by far the best version of the player stack we found. But player stacking is so easy that there's bound to be tons of spots that we just didn't find. So if you guys want to go looking and you find anything, let me know in the comments, because I'll be interested to to see what you've found. Now, I never usually say this, as you can probably tell from this graph, but I'm gonna do it for once. If you've enjoyed the video so far, you should like and subscribe. It would really help me out and would tell the YouTube algorithm to show more people this video. I know, I get it. Yeah, I get stop or chill, relax. In Team Fortress 2, most geometry in maps is made of very simple building blocks. But if something needs to be highly detailed, like a payload cart or a garbage bag or a shark swimming in the ocean, then that thing will be a prop. Props are 3D models placed into the map, and they're not particularly special in terms of their function or anything, but typically, if a map maker wants something to move in their map, that thing will be a prop. And in TF2, if something that can collide with the player also moves around, then it will have a whole bunch of incredibly broken interactions. Like, take a look at this can. No, this can. This can is a physics object, meaning that it will move around whenever you shoot it. These physics props exist on lots of maps, but on most maps, props like these don't have collision. But on a small number of maps, they do have collision. And when a physics prop is moving around, it will lose its collision until it becomes stationary again. This means that if you move the can, then walk inside of it and wait for it to stop moving, you will get stuck inside of it. Once you're stuck, you can give yourself a ton of velocity to send yourself or others flying at 1 billion miles an hour. More about exactly how that works in this video, linked in the sidebar. These Propstucks in these cans were found by the players Colossal, Groovy, and D. There's a few maps that do have this problem. Pass District has these cans in the subway that have collision with the player. So you can push the can outside onto your last point and set up a stuck launch in relative peace. Then you can fly across the map to land on some poor soul right as they spawn in.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2.
There's also this can on Boardwalk. The shape of this can makes it much easier to get stuck inside of, but you're more likely to get bothered while setting up the stuck launch because of the way the map is laid out. There's also similar cans on Shark Bay to do the exact same thing, but it's not just cans that you can get stuck inside of. There's also barrels. On CP Steel, there's these two barrels next to the first point. If you melee the barrel or shoot it with most weapons, it will instantly explode. But if you shoot it with just a single shotgun bullet or a single pistol shot, the barrel won't entirely break. It will rock back and forwards without actually breaking. Whilst it's moving, it doesn't have collision, so you can walk right inside of it. And when it stops moving, the collision comes back and you get stuck. So you can give yourself a bunch of speed and then break the barrel to go absolutely flying.
I'm going now.
Yeah, looks good now.
That's insane.
These barrels also exist on Dust Bowl. But like, good luck hitting a clip with this on Dust Bowl, Jesus Christ. Another type of prop you can get stuck in is one-way doors. If you walk slowly enough out of this door, the door will close on top of your head, getting you stuck, which allows you to do things like this.
That's a really shitty jump, but
Kill a soldier, kill a soldier, kill a soldier.
Flares got him instead.
But there's one last type of prop that we're interested in for this, and that is map geometry that moves. Take a look at these signs on Badwater. When blue captures a certain point, these signs slide up from the ground into a position where you can see them. These signs are props that have player collision that move, which means that all of the rules that apply to the cans and barrels also apply to these signs. If you stand on top of the sign right as it comes out of the ground, it will move inside of you and get you stuck. So in a real match, you can get a red spy to use the cloak and dagger while crouched on top of the sign. Then your blue player spawns as Pyro and air blasts the spy to give him a ton of potential energy, allowing you to launch wherever your heart desires. The sign only comes out of the ground when blue captures the second to last point. So launching in this direction isn't very useful. No one's going to be over there. And launching in this direction is also pretty pointless, since this building has a giant invisible wall above it. You can't do a good launch horizontally, but you can do one vertically. The reason this clip's so good is because this shot is harder than it looks. There's a bunch of different invisible walls up here. Some of these invisible walls block bullets, and some of them don't. So even though you can see over this entire building, you can only shoot at certain spots. So we had to spend a ton of time in a private server trying to figure out where we could and could not shoot. But all that planning paid off, because once we started going for it in a real match, it didn't take us too long to hit the shot. All the way back in the ancient times of August 2025, a player called Exile hosted a trick jumping contest. Trick jumping is basically doing a cool and complicated movement route through a map purely for the sake of style points. If that sounds confusing, let me just show you an example. That was a trick jump that me and my friend Layla did in a previous video, and it serves no purpose other than being really cool and skill expressive. In this trick jumping contest, a team of judges would take all the submissions and rate them out of 10 based on how cool they are. Now, me and Layla submitted some trick jumps for this contest, and I'll probably talk about how that went in its own separate video in the future. But we also had another idea for this contest. What if you did a trick jump, but you did it in a real match and actually killed an enemy player at the end of the entire setup? That core idea sounds very simple, but it took a ton of time to find one that we thought was good. At first, we had a bunch of super basic ideas. What if someone played Pyro and someone played Soldier, and then the Soldier fed the Pyro synced rockets with the rocket jumper so that they could go flying into the sky with reflect jumps? Pretty good, not bad. Okay, what about the exact same thing, but somewhere else on the map?
Holy, that was a nuke.
That guy's dead.
That was kind of shit on my part.
Oh!
What about pre-firing a reflect sync back here on Badwater, but then also pre-firing the wall as I fly past so I can reflect wall shot too? These are all pretty cool, but it felt like we were missing something. In a private server, on a jump map, reflect jumping can do some absolutely insane things. But in a real match, you're limited by the Soldier's 4 rockets, and also by the size of the map. Reflect jumping absolutely nukes you across the map, and most TF2 maps aren't big enough to accommodate that. So instead, we decided to take the Pyro out of the equation. The Soldier would be the one doing the flying around, and we needed to come up with a way to facilitate the Soldier to get a crazy market garden kill. Here's what we eventually landed on. You go into King of the Hill Suijin, a map with an enormously high skybox, and free reign to fly basically wherever you want. Then you get a cloak and dagger spy to go over to this arrow sign. You can stand on this sign, and right at the very edge over here is a stuck spot, where you can get stuck in the cliff above the sign. Then you get a Pyro from the opposite team to air blast that spy to give him a bunch of speed. This makes the spy really bouncy, so you can bounce off of his head into the sky. But the setup isn't over. The kill plane on this map is incredibly low to the ground when you fall off of the cliff. You can go all the way down here before the game kills you. So this gave us an idea. What if you had a demo wallbug on this cliff face as low as he can possibly go? Then, after the Soldier bounces off the spy, they do a triple sync on top of that demo to fly all the way back up into the map for a clip that looks a little something like this.
Mission ends in 10 seconds.
Now this clip's awesome, and I would have submitted it to the trick jumping contest if it wasn't for one little problem. See, the rules of the trick jumping contest said that we needed an STV demo to be able to submit a trick jump. And in a casual match, you cannot get an STV demo. So sadly, we weren't allowed to submit this clip, which is a damn shame because honestly, there's a chance it might have won. But we did submit other trick jumps to the contest that were allowed, and I'll tell you about how that went in a future video. But I didn't want the Suijin trick jump to go to waste because how can I not use this clip? You know what I mean? It's completely crazy. How can I not... The base jumper is an item that most people write off as a meme. But what if I told you that the base jumper actually lets you double the speed of your rocket jumps? Seriously, here is a normal rocket jump and a normal wall shot. But watch what happens when I use the base jumper in the middle of my wall shot. It almost doubles the distance I gain from that wall shot. Nobody has named this tech just yet, so I'm just gonna call it the base jumper tech. And it was first brought to my attention by a Discord DM from SolarLight. He showed me this frag movie made by Generic Dev, who uses it to hit a whole bunch of crazy clips on Trollja. But this tech has been known about for a lot longer than that. The first video we could find was by a guy called Tangled Up in Bluegrass, who showed it in action all the way back in 2015, back when you could open and close the base jumper an infinite number of times mid-air. So you could do insane stuff like this. Like, that's just that shouldn't be allowed. Like, I see why they nerfed the base jumper now. Like, Jesus. The way this tech works is very, very simple. All you have to do is open your parachute right as you fire your rocket, and then close it again before you hit the highest point of your jump. The base jumper slows you down while you're parachuting around. It slows your fall speed and it caps your movement speed. But whilst you're on your way up from a jump, the parachute being open will actually give you a big horizontal boost. As long as you close it soon enough before getting the slowdown, you can carry this boost for the entirety of your jump. And the timing is insanely easy. You just press space right as you fire your wall shot and then press it again slightly afterwards, which lets you get awesome clips like these. If you don't play much Soldier, the difference in speed might not be that easy to notice, but the difference in speed is much easier to notice when you play demo. Base Jumper Sticky Jumper isn't exactly a powerful loadout, but it does give you completely insane movement options.
Screw Huntsman.
I don't want to do this.
Holy shit.
But just using 2 stickies to fly into the sky doesn't make for a very cool clip. So instead, I made it a little bit more complex, and I did an air double. For context, here's a regular air double, and here's an air double with the base jumper. So this allows me to do crazy things like this. Now these clips are all awesome, but I have one more to show you. If you have a friend on the other team, you can do a setup that looks a little bit like this. I'm wall-shotting off of their head whilst doing the base jumper tech, whilst they swing their market gardener at me. This gives you an enormous amount of speed, and it leaves you at 5 health, which is a bit of a problem. 90% of the time you do this, you will instantly die to full damage.
I'm dead.
But every now and then, the stars will align and will allow you to hit a clip like this.
Yeah, let's fucking go! I got someone finally.
Now to end my video about TF2 tech, I'm going to show you all the clips I managed to hit that didn't quite make it into the rest of the video. And I hope you enjoy.
Fuck.
I wanna fly.
But it's fine.
I wanna fly. I wanna fly. I wanna fly.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
cool. Cool.
It's beautiful. Make it level 3 and everything. Go. Pump it down. It's huge.
And she's taking it, take it.
It's funny every time. A gun or something.
That's me, sorry.
You died!
So I'll just take it.
He moved immediately! He doesn't even
We're
know.
chill.
His vision's based on movement. He has no idea that you're there. Oh, now it's too far. Now it's too far back. Oh, I got telefrag!
Just a spy. I think you should stomp that guy.
Oh, I penciled before, that's why.
If you jump onto... Oh! Gotta be the... Is that you?
No.
Okay. Like, oh yeah. Okay, well I went too early.
He's out.
Wow.
I will jug him. He double jumps.
You got jugged.
I'll have to go through with him. Oh wait, fuck.
What this? What this?
Oh, it's just Did you get him?
Head boost.
No, I'll first. Okay.
Oh fuck! I ran out of ammo. Fuck.
I fell. So about 8 people just stared at me. I think I'll be fine timing this. No, no.
I'm nuking. It's insane. I'm like top 10 scariest Putis or something. What if I just walked behind? I might have made a mistake there. Oh!
I think it's Record Pro.
One last funny kill.
Whoa, you move like crazy. Stop fighting.
Spot makes you old.
Look at this NG.
He's going
He's
in.
cooking.
What's this cut?
Fucking random!
Off the cliff, off the cliff.
Go. I went so low. No.
Did I just launch?
The base jumper was almost crazy.
Yeah, if you know how to sticky jump, this weapon's awesome.
Kill him. Just fine.
Oh, you're just trying to fix the thing.
Yeah.
Dynamite movement to Damon. Mad. Holy flip. Just get flying.
Crossbow doesn't hit.
I'm stuck. I'm
Are you
stuck.
stuck?
I'm still stuck.
Yeah, that's the wrong can.
I'm still stuck.
You're in the other can. Look down.
Oh yeah. That makes sense.
You sounded so afraid. That's awesome.
I thought maybe like I was just like stuck in the shadow realm, you know.
Oh! Oh!
He was like sticky spamming with like a specific angle or something.
Yeah, I'm doing a lineup.
There's a scout on you there. How about you just... Kill him, headshot him.
These guys, they don't have thoughts in their brains.
No, I know.
They don't have thoughts in their brains. They see that and they're like, I'm gonna shoot that guy.
I'm gonna kill him. It's fine, this guy can...
This guy looks chill.
Yeah, this guy looks chill. He's hitting me. He wasn't chill. He was not chill at all. The insane part to me is that getting stuck in a sign as an invisible spy without getting spotted and then having people jump on your head is really easy. Headshotting people after you launch is really easy. The hard part is having Timmy Chungus 32 not hit you in the face with his melee weapon.
Yeah.
It's crazy. This game sucks. Thanks for watching.